struggling widow driving home in. The rain stops to help a blooded man lying on the roadside, unaware he's a millionaire. CEO. Her kindness costs her everything that night. But weeks later, her world turns upside down when he walks into her life again. With an unthinkable offer. Rain pounded the lonely country road as Elena Brooks, a 32-year-old widow, drove her old van with her 2 sleeping daughters in the backseat. She worked double shifts at a diner, barely earning enough to keep food on the table after her husband, a firefighter, died saving others 2 years earlier. Her wipers squeaked, struggling against the storm. As she rounded a sharp curve, her headlights caught something. A wrecked black car crumpled against a tree. Smoke curled from the hood. Her heart raced. "Stay here, girls," she whispered, pulling over. She stepped into the freezing rain, shoes sinking into the mud. Inside the wreck, a man was slumped over the wheel, blood trickling down his face. He groaned weakly. "Sir, can you hear me?" Elena yelled, tugging the door open with trembling hands. The metal screamed as it bent. The man's eyes flickered open, tired, scared, in shock. "Don't move," she said, voice firm despite fear. She dialed emergency services, but the line kept cutting out. The storm had taken the signal. Elena's heart told her she couldn't wait. Gasoline leaked from the car. It could ignite any second. Without thinking twice, she wrapped her arms around him and dragged him out into the rain. Her knees scraped, her hands bled. But she pulled him far from the wreck just before it burst into flames. He coughed, barely conscious. "You saved me," he whispered. "Don't thank me yet. Just stay awake," she said, covering him with her coat. When the ambulance arrived 20 minutes later, her daughters were shivering in the van, watching their mother through the rain-soaked windows, their hero. The man was rushed to the hospital, and Elena gave her statement before quietly driving away. She didn't even ask his name. That night, she reached home exhausted, unaware that the man she saved was Ethan Cole, one of the richest businessmen in the city, a man who had lost faith in humanity long ago. 2 weeks later, Ethan Cole opened his eyes in a private hospital room. His assistant told him the truth. The woman who saved him left before giving her name. She refused any reward, sir. Just said she had to get home to her kids. Ethan stared out the window, haunted by memories of her voice, calm, brave, selfless. In his world of luxury cars and private jets, no one ever did anything without wanting something in return. "Find her," he ordered. "I owe her my life." But searching wasn't easy. All they had was a description, a woman with brown hair, driving an old white van, with 2 little girls asleep inside. Meanwhile, Elena's life was getting harder. The diner cut her hours. Her landlord demanded rent she couldn't pay. She'd begun selling her late husband's old tools just to buy groceries. One cold evening, she returned home to find an envelope on her doorstep. Inside was a letter sealed with a golden crest and a business card that read, "Ethan Cole, CEO, Cole Enterprises." Her hands trembled as she read the letter. "To the woman who risked her life to save mine. I've been looking for you. Please allow me to thank you properly. Ethan Cole." Elena's instinct told her to ignore it. She wasn't someone who belonged in a billionaire's world. But her daughters, Emma and Lily, begged her to go. "Maybe he just wants to say thank you." "Mom, you always say kindness comes back," Emma smiled. A week later, she stood nervously in the lobby of a glass skyscraper, wearing her cleanest dress. The receptionist led her to the top floor. Ethan turned as she entered, tall, with gentle eyes that softened when he recognized her. "You're real," he said quietly. "I thought I imagined you." Elena smiled awkwardly. "I just did what anyone would do." "No," Ethan replied firmly. "Not anyone. You did what no one else did." He tried to hand her a check. She refused. "I didn't save you for money," she said softly. "My husband used to say, the greatest wealth is doing what's right." Ethan was moved to silence. That night, he couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, he felt something powerful, admiration. Not for wealth, but for goodness. He made a decision that would soon change her life forever. Days later, Elena returned home to find strange men surveying the old house. She panicked. What's going on? She asked. A man in a suit smiled. Mr. Ethan Cole purchased this property. He's asked us to begin renovations immediately. What? She gasped. Her phone rang. It was Ethan. You told me you didn't want money, he said. So I decided to give you something else, a new start. He'd bought her home, paid off her debts, and arranged a scholarship for her daughters. Elena burst into tears. You didn't have to do all this. I did, he said, because you reminded me what humanity looks like. Over the months, Ethan visited often, not as a billionaire, but as a friend. He'd share dinner with Elena and her girls, laughing, fixing the old porch, playing board games. Slowly, he found himself drawn to the warmth he'd never known. One evening, as the sunset bathed their home in gold, Ethan confessed, before that accident, I was on my way to end everything. I thought money had bought me everything, but it left me empty. Then you came, and gave me a reason to live again. Elena's eyes filled with tears. Sometimes God sends broken people to heal others, she whispered. Years later, their story became known nationwide. The millionaire and the widow, two lives colliding by fate, proving that kindness can bridge any distance between hearts. Ethan eventually founded a charity in her late husband's name, helping families of fallen firefighters. Elena became its co-director, standing beside him with pride. And every time people asked how it all began, Ethan would smile and say, it started with a rainy night, a van full of sleeping kids, and one woman who refused to look away. Moral. True wealth isn't in what you have, it's in what you give. One act of kindness can rebuild a broken soul, heal hidden wounds, and change lives forever, even your own.